In a powerful display of solidarity with Ukraine, 6 European nations have reaffirmed their commitment to President Volodymyr Zelensky's peace formula, signaling robust support for a framework they believe could lead to a just and lasting peace amid ongoing conflict with Russia. This declaration, delivered during a high-level diplomatic summit, underscores a unified European stance not only on Ukraine's sovereignty but also on its aspirations for deeper integration with Euro-Atlantic structures, including NATO and the European Union. The reaffirmation of Zelensky's peace formula represents a critical moment in the international response to the war in Ukraine. The plan, which Zelensky unveiled in late 2022, outlines a series of principles aimed at achieving a sustainable resolution to the conflict. These include restoring Ukraine's territorial integrity, ensuring accountability for war crimes, securing energy and nuclear safety, and establishing robust security guarantees to prevent future aggression. European leaders emphasized that the formula provides a credible roadmap for peace and expressed their full backing for its implementation. This strong endorsement is particularly significant given the ongoing challenges Ukraine faces in countering Russian aggression. By aligning themselves with Zelensky's vision, these nations are sending a clear message to Moscow: Europe remains resolute in its support for Ukraine and will not waver in the face of Russian pressure. This stance comes at a time when Russian forces continue their attacks in eastern Ukraine, further intensifying the need for a coordinated international response. The 6 nations also made an unequivocal declaration supporting Ukraine's irreversible path toward full Euro-Atlantic integration, a move that has profound geopolitical implications. They reiterated their commitment to Ukraine's eventual NATO membership, a step that would solidify the country's security within the Western Alliance. Although NATO membership remains a long-term goal, the symbolic and strategic weight of this support cannot be overstated. It underscores a broader recognition that Ukraine's security is intrinsically linked to the stability of the European continent. At the same time, the leaders reaffirmed their backing for Ukraine's accession to the European Union. Over the past year, Ukraine has made significant progress in aligning its policies and institutions with EU standards, despite the immense challenges posed by the war. European leaders acknowledged these efforts and emphasized that Ukraine's future lies within the European family. The path toward EU membership is fraught with economic and political hurdles, but the strong show of support from these nations underscores a collective determination to facilitate Ukraine's integration. This unified stance is likely to provoke strong reactions from Russia, which has long opposed Ukraine's alignment with Western institutions. Moscow views Ukraine's NATO aspirations as a direct threat to its security and has used this issue as a pretext for its military actions. The latest declarations of support for Ukraine's Euro-Atlantic integration will likely escalate tensions, with Russian officials expected to frame them as provocative moves aimed at encircling Russia. European leaders, however, framed their commitments as essential to ensuring peace and stability in the region. They argued that supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and integration into Western structures is not merely about countering Russian aggression but also about upholding the fundamental principles of international law and democratic governance. For these nations, the war in Ukraine is a defining moment for the post-Cold War European order, one that requires unwavering solidarity and action. The reaffirmation of support for Zelensky's peace formula and Ukraine's integration into NATO and the EU also reflects the broader strategic calculations of these European nations. By standing firmly with Ukraine, they aim to deter further Russian aggression, strengthen the transatlantic alliance, and reinforce the principle that sovereign nations have the right to determine their own foreign and security policies. These commitments are seen as vital not only for Ukraine but also for the security and unity of Europe as a whole. This collective action has been bolstered by the growing recognition of Ukraine's resilience and determination in the face of adversity. Over the past year, Ukraine has demonstrated extraordinary resolve, with its military achieving significant successes on the battlefield and its government maintaining stability despite relentless Russian attacks. European leaders have pointed to these achievements as evidence of Ukraine's readiness to play a full and active role in the Euro-Atlantic community. At the same time, the challenges ahead remain daunting. Ukraine faces the dual task of defending its territory while rebuilding its war-torn economy and infrastructure. The ongoing war has inflicted severe economic damage, with millions displaced and critical industries disrupted. European leaders acknowledged these challenges and pledged continued economic, humanitarian, and military support to help Ukraine weather the storm and prepare for its long-term integration into Western institutions. The declaration also included a call for the broader international community to rally behind Zelensky's peace formula. European leaders urged other nations, particularly those in the global south, to recognize the importance of Ukraine's sovereignty and the principles of territorial integrity. They emphasized that the conflict in Ukraine is not just a regional issue but a global one, with implications for the international rules-based order. Despite the optimism surrounding these commitments, significant hurdles remain. NATO membership for Ukraine, for example, is a complex and politically sensitive issue. While Ukraine has strong backing from several NATO members, others remain cautious, citing the potential risks of escalating the conflict with Russia. Similarly, Ukraine's path to EU membership will require extensive reforms and negotiations, a process that could take years to complete. Nevertheless, the strong and united message from these 6 European nations represents a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict. By standing firmly with Ukraine, they are not only supporting a nation under siege but also defending the principles of sovereignty, democracy, and the rule of law. As the war enters a new phase, this solidarity will be critical in shaping the outcome and ensuring that peace, when it comes, is both just and lasting.